Hello everybody, it's John Pollock here alongside Jimmy Corderas, and some very unfortunate news to discuss today. We're coming off of WrestleMania weekend, typically one of the biggest weekends of the year for professional wrestling. A lot of great moments over the past couple of days, but ending on such a tragic note, the passing of Jim Hellwig, better known to wrestling fans as the Ultimate Warrior, who passed away at the age of 54 Tuesday night. He was leaving a hotel room in Arizona with his wife when he clutched his chest and died shortly thereafter. Toxicology reports still pending, and the coroner will rule on the official cause of death, but just terrible, Jimmy, considering the timing, where it had been 18 years since he had appeared on WWE programming, being a focal point of this past weekend.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we don't have to get into the history of his problems with the WWE, but it was nice to see that it had come full circle, and at least there was closure there. I mean, it's not really a consolation for the family. I mean, we do feel for his wife and children who attended at the Hall of Fame and at WrestleMania this weekend. And so, very, very hard to fathom that this happened so soon. It just seems so, I don't know, surreal.
I want to ask you, being part of the World Wrestling Federation, World Wrestling Entertainment for as many years as you were, probably the most famous match he was ever involved with, right here in Toronto at the Skydome with Hulk Hogan, and it was a match that he will be forever remembered for, and you got a unique perspective right after the match in the back. Yeah,
I mean, I was watching like everybody else, and it was a tremendous moment, and people are not privy to what happens afterwards. And when everybody got to the back, you just saw tears in his eyes. There were tears of joy because he had accomplished what he had wanted to accomplish. Him and Hogan embraced. I mean, him and Pat Patterson embraced. Vince came back and embraced it. It was just an incredible moment to see that joy in his heart.
And he was always someone that almost an outlaw when it came to professional wrestling, someone that spoke his opinion. He was very adamant when he had his stance on something, and that was always something that was linked to his characteristics in this industry, where you essentially do have to have that opinionated nature to yourself to advance. He also, it was so amazing during the Hall of Fame speech that he took a huge portion of that speech to talk about the people behind the scenes that make the WWE click every single week, every single year, and wanted to see the installation of the Jimmy Miranda Award for those people to be honored every year at the Hall of Fame, names that you don't know. And he was always someone that really had an attachment to the production staff and people that maybe the fans at home weren't so familiar with.
Absolutely, and for those who don't know, Jimmy Miranda was a member of the crew. He was originally on the ring crew and then became the head merchandise guy who would travel, from town to town with the truck with all the T-shirts, set them up. He did pretty much everything. He was a guy of many hats and tragically passed away several years ago. But the Ultimate Warrior had kind of like his strange relationship with the crew backstage, and being part of the ring crew myself. He hung out more with us as opposed to the talent. He kind of like, there was something there. There was kind of a connection there. For example, like we'd be sitting, taking a little break backstage somewhere. We'd try to find a little hole to hide in, and he'd walk by and he'd like, "Hey guys, what are you doing?" "We're just relaxing." He says, "Hey, can we hang out? What are we talking about?" He was just that kind of guy. He was very respectful of everybody on the crew and everybody backstage, and I appreciated it, and I know that a lot of other guys did too.
So just tragic news, and at this time, we just ask that you keep in your thoughts the wife of the Ultimate Warrior, Dana, as well as his two children, who are ages 13 and 11. Just terrible. You got to see them at the Hall of Fame over the weekend. As more news becomes available, we will be certain to relay it to you, so keep it logged at FightNetwork.com as well as LiveAudioWrestling.com. And this Sunday night on The Law, we're going to have a 2-hour look back at the career and life of the Ultimate Warrior, Jim Hellwig. And for Jimmy Corderas, I'm John Pollock.